Good evening, Dolphin fans and all the fans around the world. Guess who's back? Off hiatus. First day of school for the kids. Summer's out. Welcome to an episode of the Fins Bandwagon. I'm one of your hosts, FinStanza. As you can see by the jersey behind me, I actually got myself a FinStanza jersey because I went to a preseason game thanks to Fish Tank. And here with me today, my partner in crime, my pops, Fish Tank Hank. How you doing, pops?
What do you mean, thanks to me? What did I have to do with any of it, Junior?
You gave me tickets.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, you cost me a lot of money. Because you ever take 3 kids to the Miami Dolphins store? I was in trouble. Oh, was I in trouble? So, God, how you doing?
We're getting some light on my subject right now.
Are you? So,
There we go.
How's it feel to be back on the bandwagon with me for another season?
You know, Junior, we are rolling in this year, and it's going to be better this year than it has so far.
No.
And that's saying a lot because our show is usually pretty decent,
Much better.
And I think this year it's just going to explode on people. They don't know what's coming.
No.
We do, though.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be back. As you can see, we have our new logos. We had a different intro. We didn't have our Fins Bandwagon intro because Bobby's working on a beautiful intro that's going to incorporate the beautiful Hank more than me. We'll have an even it out. We haven't gotten a revamp of our show in 2 years. It's going to be a lot of fun, but Bobby's working on a lot of great things for us. New music, new everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. But I thought, you want to know what? It's been a couple months. I dropped in when there were big signings for Tua and Tyreek throughout the summer while I was down in Florida. It was pretty ironic. But for me, I thought it was great to come back. Fresh season after the initial 53-man roster was announced. There's been changes obviously since then. So I thought, you want no better time before the season, before you head out in the next 10 days. We'll have 2 shows probably between now and then because you'll be traveling down to South Florida for a week or so. So thought, you want to, let's jump on the bandwagon right now.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll be live with you.
Yeah.
At the Bills
and the
Dolphins game.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that'll be one thing. I'll be tailgating, and we'll probably have to do a show a little earlier that day so that I can get in and watch the game.
No, maybe we'll do it while you're tailgating. We can sort of do it like we did when we were down there last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe we could do like something earlier, a little tailgate thing around 7 or so.
For sure, way before that, for sure. It's part of our number thing. So guys, welcome to the show. We're going to talk about a lot of fun things, but the real focus today is really going to be on how we spin the positive, because there's no point of being on the negative. The season hasn't even started yet. We're all 0-0. There's a lot to look forward to, even when we may shake our head at some of the stuff. In the end, we're Dolphin fans. Let's look at the positives. Let's look at the enjoyment of the team, and let's just have a lot of fun. So, Fish Tank, the easiest thing to talk about, which even though people were freaking out because that's what people do in Dolphins land, was on Tuesday, the announcement of the 53-man roster. Initial. There's been a lot of changes since then, and I guarantee there'll continue to be changes, but I'm just going to read through who the lineup was, then we'll talk about some of the changes. We'll talk about each reaction. So I'm going to do what I'll do instead of reading the whole roster, I'm going to make it easy for both of us. I'm going to do each position, and then I'm also going to, if there were changes to that position, since that time, I want to hear your thoughts on each section of the team. Tell me what you're thinking, okay? So obviously, we'll start with the quarterback position. As we know, which we all expected after the last preseason game, and you talked about it on Fins Talk today. Mike White was cut, so we were down to 2 quarterbacks. So when they announced it on Tuesday, Tua Tagovailoa and Skylar Thompson. Lo and behold, we learned yesterday, and it was announced today, even though there are lots of quarterbacks that you were talking about, whether it's Taylor Heineke, Tyler Huntley was released today, it was announced that Tim Boyle was announced as our practice squad quarterback. So on its face, how are you feeling about the quarterback position if those were your 3 quarterbacks heading into this season?
The same as I already did before when we had Mike White.
So no improvement.
I don't really see much improvement. Boyle?
No. But you're comfortable with Uno, but if Uno goes down, it's going to take something. But So for us to be on the positive, we truly believe that there still needs to be something needs to happen. Whether it's a top, because now we know Taylor Heineke got signed with got traded to the Chargers. So
Yeah.
still out there is Jameis Winston. So is Tyler Huntley. Would that give you a little more comfort?
I don't know. Maybe if you said Tannehill or somebody like that, I'd be like, yeah.
Okay. So you're willing to go out and give large money to a backup quarterback. You'd give somebody $6-7 million to be our backup.
Yes.
Okay. I don't disagree with you. If our options are Tim Boyle and Skylar Thompson, I like Skylar Thompson's skill set, the size, the arm, the joy, the fact that he earned the position. He did earn the position.
Yeah.
However, he's yet to show, like he did in that preseason game, that he's adapted to handling the offense. He knows it, but where is he? But in the end, at least they've been able to develop him a little bit. That's what the positive I'll take out of the quarterback position. I'm not worried about Tua. Tua continues to grow. Tua is going to be built for success. So I'm okay there. I'm sure we're all going to be smiles here, or I'm sure you'll be surprised because I think you were happy. I think you were probably surprised about this. So at the running back, fullback position, you have Achane, Ingold, Mostert, Wilson, and Wright. How do you feel about that?
Feel good.
Were you surprised that they kept Jeff Wilson Jr. over Chris Brooks?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Do you think
Weren't
that we're
you?
going to regret? Do you think we're going to regret that? Or do you think
We have enough running backs back there to not worry about him, to be honest with you.
Mm.
I wish they would have kept him, but they didn't. So you have to go with who's on the team.
Yeah.
And Jeff Wilson, he didn't do much during preseason, but he's decent. It's not like he's a bad back. So I'm happy.
Okay, good.
But I wish Brooks would have been there, though, to be honest with you.
I understand that. It's just I think Jeff Wilson's relationship with Mike McDaniel won him that job. And I think also people remember that you were at that game, that Dallas game. If it wasn't for him on that drive, we don't win, right? He actually came in and got us those yards we needed to kick the winning field goal. So you can, I guess that plays a role. Now, I think the biggest shocker for all of us, even though we're proud of who is there, when we saw that it was only 4 wide receivers on an initial roster. So now you have Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Malik Washington, Braxton Berrios. Now, obviously, there's been changes. When you saw 4, what was your reaction?
What the hello Mary is going on?
We knew something was up. And then were you surprised after getting 65 yards at Easy E in that last game, 2 games ago against Washington, he didn't make the initial roster? Yes, he's now on the practice squad, but do you feel like we've lost that depth? Like, or were you like, you're saying, whoa, like Odell Beckham now on the PUP list for 4 weeks, that they knew about it? Like, does wide receiver still give you pause?
No, because I know they'll have somebody there. I mean, like you said, they stash people away on the practice squad and everything else.
So they signed Robbie Chosen again today. So Chosen is back, and they got. They say they wanted to draft him 2 years ago, but a guy by the name of Grant DeBooz, who they didn't want to cut from Green Bay, but they ran out of room. And Mike McDaniel said he talked to Matt LaFleur, really likes him. Seems to be a big wide receiver, which I don't think we actually have. So to have a big wide receiver to potentially be on our team, you want to know what? Give him a shot. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, we need a big body.
Yeah, I think Brooks Scotty is done with us. I don't think they're going to hold on to him. I think there's not going to happen. And for Scotty, $7 million. I'm not sure what Mac Jones is making. Probably going to get something. I don't know what he's going to get. I'm probably maybe still on his entry contract, so maybe next year. But I don't know. We'd have to look around. I'm sure Justin Fields will get that money. Like, I'm sure somebody. There has to be somebody there. Hello, Mr. Bobby. At least you came to watch our show. So nice of you to stop by. Okay, now I actually was surprised. I made a joke a couple of weeks ago. When did I make it? I think it may be on the show with Tua. How many tight ends we're going to get signed? Well, your buddy Tanner Connor got huge praise from Mike McDaniel today on the fact that he can play running back, he can play wide receiver. He's a Swiss Army knife. He made the team along with Julian Hill, Jonnu Smith, and Durham Smythe. Are we carrying too many tight ends?
No.
So do you believe that it's obvious now that with these 4 tight ends that we're going to have typically, except maybe on third down, that we're going to run 2 tight end sets? We're going to run a 2 tight end set on most plays. You're probably going to see a combination of Jonnu Smith and Durham Smythe, or Julian Hill and Jonnu Smith, or John O'Connor and Jonnu Smith, or something like that on a very regular basis if you're carrying 4.
Well, you know what I think? It might not be 2 tight end sets, but whoever's out there is going to be able to perform now. I like the players that we have at tight end, whereas last year we were okay at tight end. This year we're a little more beefy. We have players that have been there a little longer, so all that adds into this for me, Junior.
I agree. Overall, guys, I always forget to say, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out Caneswear. Check out the Greatest Show on Surf.shop for awesome Dolphins gear. We'll repeat this over and over again throughout the season. We're not going to stop with it. Now, O-line. I'm very proud of Chris Grier that he got in front of this. And so yesterday, he even repeats the quote. You guys always are saying that we think more of our offensive line than we do. Mike McDaniel today in his press conference was saying the same thing, how they really believe it. Like I'm sure you've listened to many of it. The Teron Armstead takes the offensive lines out for dinner every single week. They're always together. They're unified. They're in a group. They feel like there's no I in team. That offensive line is really a unified group, and that's why they don't want to mess around with it. They want to give the people the chance to earn it, and they believe that coaching will get them through it. So it may right now it's changed a little bit, but you have Teron Armstead, Aaron Brewer, Lester Cotton. No more Jack Driscoll, because Jack Driscoll got cut in order to bring in another player who we'll get to. Had to bring him back. Liam Eichenberg, Austin Jackson, Robert Jones, Kendall Lamb. No more Andrew Meyer, because we had to drop him for Grant DeBuse and Patrick Paul. How do you feel about what Chris Grier is saying, getting ahead of it, Mike McDaniel getting in front of it, and the fact that this is going to be our offensive line, which is very similar to the structure of last year, with the exception of the fact that Aaron Brewer is replacing Connor Williams?
What we've been past 4 years, we've been like 27, 24, 31 as far as pass blocking goes. We've almost been dead last every year.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the heck Chris Grier's looking at, but
because there's still,
the numbers show, the numbers don't lie in this.
He's pulling the bandwagon. Okay, he's pulling the bandwagon, which I understand. They still have the top offense. So if they have the top offense, well, they must have a great offensive line. That's how he spins it, right? So that's how I'm going to spin it. As long as Tua gets his yards, as long as Tyreek gets his yards, as long as Raheem Mostert has 21 touchdowns, the offensive line looks great. It looks great. That's how we do it. That's how we do it on the bandwagon. Honestly, in the end, I really think, you want to know what? I'll give it the truth. In the center, we're concerned about the middle. If Austin Jackson is healthy and Teron Armstead is healthy and Patrick Paul did very well in the preseason and Kendall Lamb, the outside I'm never worried about. If they're going from side to side, I have no problem. Where we have to try to find the positive and really look for it is in the trenches. Because as we saw during the preseason, once again, on 3rd and 2, how many times did we go for it on 4th and 1 and 4th and 2 against Tampa? They clog up the middle because the people, Vita Vea crushed Jack Driscoll, who's no longer on the team. But that's where it is. So what we have to figure out is the scheme has to be somewhere. Like I said today, I would consider, and I don't know if I want to get your spin on this, if it's 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, I would actually take out Tua and I would bring in Skyler, who's much taller and much lankier, and have him jump the offensive line. Do a quarterback sneak, but jump it. Get your ball up, fall back. I don't care, but get the yard. That's how I would do it. I wouldn't pound it because we're not going to get there. I want to see new creativity in terms of pushing it, where with utilizing the quarterback. Because you want to know what? Skylar Thompson, utilize him during the game and bring him in these touch situations where you can need an extra yard because his length and his can get you that extra yard. I believe that. So, what do you think about that? What do you think?
Well, that's a good idea.
Okay,
That could be a good idea. I mean, it's a possibility.
that's
But
what I would do.
We do have an Ingold
Yeah, we
to
have an
run in
Ingold.
front of the running back.
Yeah, yeah, and we've also
And to
seen
go
Jared
around
Smythe.
the outside, which if you have Ingold going as a blocker and you have one of those speed guys around the outside, they're likely to get the outside couple yards every time.
Yeah.
So I would say it depends on the situation and who we're playing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But for me, I'm just trying to be creative. Let's try something new. But in the end, I'm very comfortable at the tackle positions because there is backups there that are capable. In the end, Jones is a guy who's been there. Eichenberg is playing for a contract. Cotton is just Lester Cotton, but he's a body, and we'll see what happens. But I don't think they're done yet. They'll continue to add people to the practice squad, and they'll do what they need to do. In the end, for me, if Aaron Brewer is not our starting center on game one, then you want to know what? We'll have to just spin the fact that Liam Eichenberg is a good snapper. But I hope to see Aaron Brewer, however you want to call him, because everyone has a different name for him already. Snap the ball. I want to see some video somehow of him snapping, because all I remember is the fact that he has an injury on his hand, and if he can't snap the ball to Tua, that's going to be a scary first game. But let's have some fun. Let me see what Christopher. If Fernando Brown Scholar on circumstances, it would telegraph our intention. The opponent knows the play. Not necessarily. Yeah, but so what? They know the play on 4th and 1 anyways. Actually, they don't, Christopher, because last year, everyone can attest to the fact that when it was 4th and 1 and 3rd and 2 or whatever it was, we were throwing the ball. So this year, even with Skyler there, yes, they're going to know to run the ball, but you don't think that when it was 4th and 1, when it was Tom Brady or where it's the tush push, that they're not going to push? Of course, on 4th and 1, you're expecting a run. But last year, everyone expected a pass. So you want to know what? Let's have some fun with it. And if they're expecting that play, then let Skyler throw the ball. I don't care, but try something else. You know what I mean? What's up, Aladino? You're always saying wonderful things about me, so go Fins and Fins up. So if we move now to the defensive side of the ball, we have the people on the defensive line right now are Calais Campbell, Deshaun Hand, Benito Jones, Brandon Peely, Zach Sealer. So no Neville Gallimore, Tier Tart's now on the chart, I believe on the Chargers. Which was cut a few weeks ago. So how are you feeling about your defensive line, knowing that you don't have Raekwon Davis, you don't have Christian Wilkins, but now you've replaced him with Calais Campbell and a mixture of Deshaun Hand, Benito Jones, Brandon Peely? How are you feeling about that?
I feel all right about our defensive line.
Yeah.
It's not like the offensive line where you're hoping that this guy's going to do something and hoping that guy's going to, there aren't a couple pieces missing is my point.
Yeah.
I like the way our defensive line lines up. Now, is it going to be a top 10 line with who we have? That might be a little questionable, but with the players we have also on the outside edge that you haven't mentioned, that improves that interior line, in my opinion. So,
okay. That we only left 5 people, but now listen to this list, including outside linebackers. Are they ready for this long list? Quentin Bell, Jordan Brooks, Mo Kamara, David Long, Emmanuel Ogba, Jalen Phillips, Duke Riley, Chop Robinson, Channing Tindall, Anthony Walker, who we've yet to see. The guy, someone made a joke today, which is true. Anthony Walker is on this team. No one has seen him. I've never, outside of him signing his contract, no one has physically seen him. He's somewhere there, like Odell. We haven't seen him. So, what are your thoughts on the inside linebacker position, which would basically be Jordan Brooks, David Long, Duke Riley, and Channing Tindall, and Anthony Walker? How are you feeling about that particular lineup?
We were better last year.
You
but
think
I can see I can see where improvements can be made depending on what the defense is running,
Okay.
what
I
type of
love,
schemes
yeah.
they're running.
I think so. I think that Jordan Brooks and David Long are going to be tackle machines. The only thing I'm worried about is that I haven't seen enough tape. I should go watch of Jordan Brooks in coverage. All I know is that Tyndall, Riley, and for sure David Long are not what they call beautiful in coverage. Okay, they don't.
Yeah,
They just can't follow a wide receiver or a tight end for save their life. But they have experience in the offense. Where did he go? Maybe on audio.
I'm still here,
You're still
Junior.
here. You're just disappearing on me. It's okay. But for me, overall, the linebacker position on the inside, I think will be equivalent or not or better. And I think they're going to swap them out a lot. Anthony Weaver, who I'm a huge fan of, as everyone knows, I think will get them going. Now
Yes.
on the outside linebacker position, Quentin Bell earned his stripes here. Mo Kamara, who was a big talker during his draft interview after he was drafted. Manuel Ogba coming back, trying to will help us support on the side until Chubb gets back. Jalen Phillips going to be on a pitch count, but it's great to know he has him back. And Chop Robinson. Now, what are your thoughts on until we get Chubb back on our outside linebacker position, our edge rushers?
I love our edge rushers. I love what we have out there. Now, Chop Robinson hasn't really shown a lot yet, and this and that, but you know, I like what they've done to bolster that position in the offseason this year. And when people start coming back, it's going to be explosive,
Yeah.
especially like when Odell comes back and we have a third wide receiver that we were planning on having at least 7 to 10 games. So that'll be nice too.
Yeah.
So and they're gonna all come back around the same time. So it's gonna be a boost to our offense and our defense once this starts coming back
It
around.
sort of has that Jalen Ramsey feel when he came back. Like,
Yeah.
so we're going to talk about that. But what are your thoughts on the fact that except for Jalen Phillips, none of these linebackers have the ability to set the edge? Or that's been the big talk. So do
Yeah.
you believe that they'll overcome that and that you see someone like Chop Robinson truly only being a third down edge rusher because he basically can't set the edge, so they're going to be running on him like crazy? What are your thoughts on that?
I think our linebackers, all 12 of them.
Yeah, we have about that because none of them have been cut. None of them have been cut.
I think our linebackers, all 12 of them, are going to be up for the task if they do get around him, okay?
We have twice as many linebackers as we do wide receivers. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. It's insane. Now,
well, that's usually our Achilles heel.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So
I guess they want to do something about
let's just throw it in, or maybe Anthony Weaver just likes his linebackers. You never know. He had one of the best ones in Roquan Smith. Maybe he's trying to find his Roquan Smith in there. So a great story at cornerback is Ethan Bonner, another undrafted guy, did a great job there. Everyone's favorite name on the team, Storm Duck. Gotta love that name. Oh my God. You can Kendall Fuller, who's won before, is capable. Kader Kohu, our special team ace, and Saron Neal and Jalen Ramsey. How do you feel now at the cornerback position compared to last year?
Last year, I had a little more confidence with what we had going on than I do this year, to be honest with you. But again, we still have players that can make a difference at those positions. I like Storm Duck too.
Yeah, and Cam Smith's going to come back. So, like between Cam Smith, OBJ, Chubb, we're bringing guys who are capable NFL players back in the middle of the season, and River Craycraft at one point. Like, we're going to bring them all back. At the safety position, you have Elijah Campbell, another special teams ace. Javon Holland, who's in the news that's the guy we're going to go after. We have to sign him. Marcus May, who's had success, whether it's at the Jets or the stinking Jets or with the Saints. You have Patrick McMorris, who's actually just put on IR, so they could bring back somebody who we'll mention in a minute, as well as the guy who's going to give us all of Josh Allen's secrets, and Jordan Poyer. Do you feel the depth at the safety position is still lacking?
No.
You're comfortable? He needs a moment. Am I comfortable? Yes, I'm comfortable because We have veterans there. You have young guys there. You guys who have earned the positions there. They can move people around. They have to put even Jalen Ramsey in more of a safety role and switch one of the and have whether Kader Kohu or Storm Duck or Ethan Bonner on the sidelines. You can always move things around. So for me, in the end, that's what's most important. So Fishtank, I know you have to put yourself on mute for a sec. So why are you comfortable with the safety position?
I'm comfortable for the same reasons you are. I like what we've done at safety. I didn't like the fact that we got rid of Nick Needham, though. That
He's
I
back.
didn't like.
He's back.
I know. I'm just saying.
But I predicted it, by the way. I called it. If you remember on Fins Talk today,
Yeah.
I said he was going to get cut because he's one of the guys who's there since the rebuild in 2019, and this preseason he let people like Storm Duck and Marcus May and McMorris, who now on IR,
Yeah,
and Bonner pass him. Like he thought he got a little too comfortable in his position on the team. I feel,
the cheetah, the penguin, and the duck walk into a bar.
What about Happy Feet? And you know what that make? Happy walk into a bar, and who walks out? Happy Feet Skylar Thompson. Have you ever seen the guy can't stay in the pocket to save his life? Just a side note, he's the complete opposite of Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill never leaves the pocket because he doesn't know where to move. He has no pocket presence. And then you have what's his name? Skylar Thompson. The moment he sees somebody the moment he doesn't get what he wants within 2 seconds, he starts running. No one's coming after him, but he starts running to the sideline.
Yeah, what would you be doing behind that line? You'd be running too.
To it? No, I'd
get did I say that out loud?
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, like Howard last year. By the way, how ironic is that Javian Howard is yet to find a job?
Yeah.
Don't you wish he would have taken a pay cut? Doesn't he wish he'd taken a pay cut and stayed here? So when you saw this, I knew what was going to happen, but this was my best. This was the best. Everyone freaking out on Twitter, on Xland, when they saw the special teams. Jake Bailey, Jason Sanders. They go, who's snapping the ball? So when you saw that Blake Ferguson didn't make the initial 53, he's back now, obviously. And he knew it because he just signed an extension and all that. What was your initial reaction? Did you say, why are people overreacting? Of course he's coming back. No one's going to sign him. He's going to go to our practice. We're going to get him back.
He'll be back. I wasn't worried about it.
But doesn't that make you funny? Isn't it really funny how quickly our team, this was quintessence Miami Dolphins. We lost our minds because we didn't have a long snapper. That's what we were getting upset about, not the other members of our team. The number one thing I saw on X was the fact that who was going to snap the football. Honestly, I didn't care because I personally, people said I was hard on Jason Sanders last year, who I now love. Jake Bailey, I don't want him to kick the football because honestly, I rather Tua throw the ball 40 yards and get an interception and tackle the guy there because Tua can throw the football farther than Jake Bailey can punt a football. So I don't care about Tua's stats at that moment. I'd rather Tua bomb the ball. He'll get 50, 60 yards, tackle the guy than the way this guy punts. So I wasn't too concerned about the long snapper. But that's what people on X do, right? They overreact. So back to 53-man roster. We've been some changes. What are your thoughts quickly on the fact that they said, Chris Greer said that they knew there was a very strong possibility when they signed him that OBJ, who we all thought was going to be our number 3, was not going to be ready for the season. And then, by the way, that's a Dolphins choice. He wants to play. They put him on PUP.
Yeah.
What was your reaction to that?
I'm fine with it. I think it's a good idea. The fact that they said that they weren't sure whether he was going to start to begin with once they picked him up, they said they were aware of his injuries. They weren't sure if he'd start the season and all that. And he's not. He's not starting, which is fine. He's a number 3 wide receiver. He's a rotational player. It really doesn't make that big of a difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he's your number 1 or your number 2, yeah, it's a big deal. I'd be freaking out a little bit. But guess what? He's our number 3 wide receiver. That's all we expect. All we're really expecting out of him is anywhere from 500 to 800 yards. Nothing more. Nothing. I have no bigger expectations than that from a number 3. So, if a number 3 gets more than 800 yards, I think they're doing really, really good. So,
Absolutely.
I mean,
Absolutely. So, talk a little bit about. I know this Sunday, this Saturday, you guys are going to be talking about more predictions of where we're going to land in terms of our standing. So, near the end of the show, we're going to focus more on positions and what we expect in terms of where we could see the Dolphins finishing, whether it's in terms of individual stats, and team stats a little bit. But in terms of what Mike McDaniel was saying today about, they were actually talked about the seeding of where they were. This was an interesting topic. We'll talk a little bit about Mike Daniel than Chris Greer, but about the fact that people asked him questions about the fact that when he set up the locker room, he actually sets up the locker room where people are going to sit. You would have Tua with Jordan Poyer and Kader Kohu. You'd have Calais Campbell with like a wide receiver. You'll have the setup was set up where they're really mixing up young players with veterans, young people with but completely different positions. What do you think that changes the dynamic of a team, or do you think that that kind of stuff is just not an intangible and it really doesn't matter?
I mean, it can change it depending on who you're putting in there. If you're putting a sour apple in there, you're going to have some problems,
Yeah.
But it all depends on the position and how your players respond to outside noise to begin with.
Yeah.
And I think Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins have that taken care of, to be honest with you.
Right. When you look at the contracts that are being signed, if you look today, I don't know if you saw it just recently. I don't know if you had a chance to check X, but after all that saga about Brandon Ayuk going to the Patriots, going to the Steelers, he is now going to get an average of $30 million a year. He's going to get the same amount of money average as Tyreek Hill, and he's much younger than Tyreek, but he's going to get $47 million between now and April 1st, 2025. You see signings like that, signings of Justin Jefferson at $35 million. Then you see the fact that we have Waddle at 28. You have Tyreek at 30. You have Tua where he is. In the end, do you believe, because I truly do, that the players we signed this year, not one of them, when you look at the market and where everyone else fell, that whether it's Tua, Waddle, Hill, whoever it is, and then you have signings of Calais Campbell at $2 million. You look at Zach Sealer at like $11 million this year. That Brandon Shore and Chris Greer have done a very good job when we thought there was no cap space to on the top level, the veteran, the key members of our team that are the foundational pieces that are going to start on this team. They've done an excellent job helping to extend the window another 1 to 2 years longer than we thought it would be.
Yes.
Okay, so you're do you feel, no. In all honesty, you're a season ticket holder. You're a proud Miami Dolphins fan, as we all know. Are you comfortable now that we thought that year 3 would be the real last year of the window? That maybe we have another 2, like we maybe are now in year 3 of 5 versus basically year 3 of 3.
Yeah, I was hoping we were going to get a little better than we are right now.
Yeah.
I was hoping that our winning was going to start last year by the latest, but we haven't been having losing seasons either. So it depends on what your version of winning is.
Yeah, of course.
Compared to what we've been doing, we at least made it to the playoffs. So
yeah,
that was one thing. Now we need to get a little further past that. And in our effort to continue to extend out, I think that Greer has done a great job in bringing other players in, but we've let some great players walk out the door too. So,
well, who would you consider? Yeah, but let me interrupt you there. Which player that left our team do you believe this past off season would have changed the foundation of our team heading into this season that we didn't replace? Who is that good enough? You think that Christian Wilkins on his own is significantly better than Calais Campbell, who's been in the league for as long as he has been? You think he's significantly better than him?
I think he's better than him because,
of his age.
yeah, because of his age
But that's a
alone.
$28 million. You would have had to give Christian Wilkins. So you're telling me you would have kept Christian Wilkins at $28 million versus Calais Campbell at 2?
No.
Exactly. Because with the 28, because if you had the $28 million of Christian Wilkins, you don't have Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle at those contracts. You can't. You don't have the money.
I'm not disagreeing, Junior.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking. Where's my sticker? Love the stickers. Save me one, please. Guys, those are amazing stickers. If you live in South Florida or going to a game, don't forget to check out Fish Tank Hank in the southeast corner. He'll give you a sticker.
I'll only give them to the kids.
I am your
Sorry.
kid. Excuse me, I am your kid.
I know you'll get one, but
I'll get one. I'll get one.
You'll get one, but I don't give them out to the adults because these stickers cost about $2 each.
Ooh, be careful. Yeah,
I just got 200 of them. That's 400.
Yeah,
so
be careful. Selective.
My point is, I give them to the kids. I give them to the kids for a reason.
I get it. I totally get it. Chris Greer was really stepped in front of everything yesterday. How do you feel about the fact that he is that what I learned about that, and I also listened to Mike McDaniel today, how self-aware they are, in the sense that a lot of people might block it out and not care what is being said in the media. How do you feel about the fact that whether it's Tua, whether it's Tyreek, Tua, Mike McDaniel, especially now Chris Greer, that they get in front of it and they know what people are saying, they read it, they hear it, they can't avoid it, and that fact that they own it. How do you does that make you like even more excited about the team, about the fact that they are at least more self-aware of it? Like they're not just saying, "Oh, we're not ignoring it. We just believe something different because we're there every day."
Yeah, I know that they wish they had some better players in some positions. I mean, Eichenberg, come on. They can't really.
Honestly, that I think is I think that's if he doesn't show something this year, they're not going to resign him. It's a contract year for him, right?
Yeah.
If he also you have to one thing I will give him credit for, and I'll give him credit. He was brought in. He started at tackle. Then he was supposed to be guard. Then they put him at center. Then last year he was supposed to be back at guard. Now he was back at center. Honestly, what do you expect? And also, we don't draft natural centers. They even said that to Chris Greer. They like people who are dynamic, but we have not signed or drafted a true center that started on our team since in years. We are back. Think about it. You have to go back to Pouncey to remember our best, a great center on this team. Like that was a natural center. Pouncey. That's a long way ago. Get one from Dad and send it to me. Yes, I will get it from Dad and send it to you. I promise you. I'll give you one of mine. I promise. I'll pay for them. I'll give him his money back. It's okay. Don't worry.
No, it doesnn't work that way.
I know. I'll steal one and photocopy it. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. No, but I'm being honest with you. What are your thoughts on that? Like, also, one question I have for you. Do you feel that here's two questions for you. Is the top end talent better this year than last year?
Yeah.
Is the depth worse than last year?
No.
So are we better than last year?
No.
So we're still, even though we're better but we're not worse or better in both, even though we might be not worse and we might be a little bit better, it still hasn't pushed the needle. So are you basically saying that we're a fragile veteran team now, that if we stay healthy, we could do anything, but if one key injury happens again to either Jalen Ramsey or something happens to one of our outside linebackers, or God forbid Tua, God forbid Tyreek, that we're gonzo for the season?
I wouldn't say we're gonzo for the season in that sense. No, Junior. I'm thinking more along the lines that we have to make our moves in these first 4 games. Okay. And these first 4 games are more important this year than they've been in the past, because these four first 4 games are more winnable than most of our games throughout the season. So because of that, I know everybody says the Buffalo Bills this, that, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they have beat us, blah, blah. I don't give a good rat's garbage about nothing.
Yeah.
The Bills have beat us. We have beat the Bills. Same thing with the Jets. The Jets have beat us. We have beat the Jets. We're just about tied with everybody across the board. But we do lead the series when you check everyone in our division.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, I just think that we are fragile in the beginning. I think that our team will become more stout after week 4. I think by week 4 we're going to have our heads screwed on right, and we'll be a much improved team. And then you have 2 weeks till the bye. So I think we're going to really pick up. We're going to pick up in the season. I don't think we're going to decline.
Okay, good. I want to get the Caps covered. Hard Rock has us a 3rd place in division. Evan, why? Okay, I'll answer that first, and then you'll tell me if you agree or disagree. The reason why they have us in 3rd place, and I like it, is because for the last 2 seasons, we've crapped the bed. Yes, we've had injuries, but we've crapped the bed in 2 consecutive seasons. In Hard Rock's mind, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. Whether Aaron Rodgers was injured last year, that's what they believe. They believe that until you knock Josh Allen off, or you see what they see from Aaron Rodgers and they also have the Jets defense, that we still have something to prove. I like that, but let me explain you something. This is why I love Jeff Darlington. Bart Scott, Mike Greenberg, all these guys, Damian Woody, whatever. They're all obsessed with the Jets. The Jets have done nothing forever. I'm sick and tired about hearing about the darn stinking Jets. We've had injuries. We still made the playoffs. We did what we had to do. They invested in Zach Wilson, and they shot the bed for a couple of years with their good defense. They are more screwed up than we are. How can you anoint that team as the heir apparent to win this division when they've proved nothing? They have proved nothing. Hassan Reddick doesn't even want to be on that team.
Faithful?
What's up, Fins Faithful? I heard you. Guys, don't forget to check out Fins Faithful. He just posted a podcast earlier today. I just saw that on X. I'm going to listen to it. Don't forget to reach him out. He's a great guy. So for me, I believe that's where we stand as the Dolphins. Let them put us last for all I care. I couldn't care less. I'm a Miami Dolphins fan. And like I said, for me, everyone knows on this network and all throughout where my concern lies. It's not with the quarterback. Yeah. It's not with... I have less concern even about Danny Crossman, because at least Saron Neal is there. They have now different people. It's a different kind of setup at special teams. For me, it falls with Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, for me, is a 3rd-year head coach who's trying all these different things, about 24 years, trying to grow the hair, trying to be cool, developing the team. He has no more excuses. Last year I was told, 2 years ago, he's a rookie head coach. Last year, he's a 2nd-year head coach. He had injuries. What's going to be the excuse this year? The guy hasn't won a challenge in 3 years. I want to see development and growth as a head coach. He has to lead he has to lead this team. If he doesn't lead this team with Tua, it falls on him. That's where I believe he is the linchpin to this going well. Not even injuries. He's the linchpin. He has to finally show that he's a true head coach. Matt LaFleur has done it. Sean McVay has done it. Kyle Shanahan has done it. All those people on the tree after a couple of years have gotten somewhere after 1 or 2 years. He has to do it this year, or he's done. The same way Robert Saleh will be done in New York. To get back to Cap's point, what are your thoughts on the fact that the Dolphins were ranked 3rd by Hard Rock?
What do I think about it?
What do you think? Do you think that's fair?
I think it's fair. I think it's fair. What has Miami done to say that we deserve to be in 2nd? Honestly,
what have the Jets done?
They haven't done anything either. But I look at myself first. I don't worry about the others.
Good point.
What have the Miami Dolphins done to be in 2nd right now behind the Bills? Well, last year they had a more winning record than the Jets. They had a more winning record than the Patriots. So that's why I believe they should be in 2nd right now. But they're going by current power rankings, And they see the Jets defense as better than our defense because we have players out to start with. So I would have to agree with them. Currently, our defense isn't as stout as theirs. However, they're rating their offense a lot higher because of Aaron Rodgers. And I think that our offense is still a little bit better than their offense.
Okay.
Even with our messed up offensive line, I still think we're in a better offensive position than the Jets right now.
Okay.
Now, do we need those players that are missing? Absolutely. Without them, we won't be able to finish the season with a winning record. So hopefully a bunch of them come back, like we said, week 4. So we'll see.
Okay. In the end, let's just have fun. Now, guys,
Yeah.
45 minutes into the show, we're going to have a little fun for the next 10 minutes. I'm going to shoot some firing questions out the fish tank. We'll see what he thinks, and you guys can put some items in the comments. One last question, though, before we go there. Outside of Tua, who we know, who's the one player on this team where without him for more than 3 or 4 games will have a significant impact on our ability to win football games? Outside of Tua, who's the one player?
Hill or Waddle have the second best second.
So you think
impact,
we can survive on
biggest
defense?
impact.
So you think we can survive on defense by losing a key cog in Campbell or Ramsey more, that we can fill that hole more than we can fill either a Hill or a Waddle?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's totally understandable. Okay. Let me ask you this.
All right.
Will the Dolphins offense finish in the top 5 this year?
Yes.
Team offense. Yes?
Yeah. Team
Will the
offense
Dolphins,
will be a top 5 offense this year. Yes.
will the defense be a top 10 defense this year?
Not in the beginning of the year, but yes.
Final. They will.
Final, they will be a top 10. I don't want to say top 10. I know they'll be the top half of the defense of the league, but whether they'll be a top 10, I'm not sure right now. But I'm going to say yes, top 10.
Okay.
Squeaking in, though.
Okay. Do you think that, I'll do this one first, that our defense will be able to cause more than 15 turnovers this year?
Yes.
Who will any defensive back or safety have finally, because we didn't have it last year, at least 5 interceptions this year? And if so, who?
5? No.
5. Nobody?
3, yes. 5, no.
So we don't have another, even though David Howard had 10 one year, we're not going to get 5?
I think that they're going to be split up too much for one player to get 5.
Okay. So it's more a unified team, which I wanted to hear.
Yes.
Do you believe that anybody on this team is capable to get double-digit sack numbers this year?
To get double-digit sack numbers?
Yeah.
Sure.
Who?
Absolutely.
Who?
Phillips, Chubb.
Chubb can get it even though he comes back week 5?
Yeah.
That's well, okay. Will 2 people get double-digit sacks?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Will anybody on this team have, because it's a big number, but he can do it because there's one guy on the team, can surpass 150 tackles?
Yes.
Will it be the same guy who's done it before, and Jordan Brooks? Can he do it again?
I think it'll be in long.
Okay. On the offensive side of the ball, will anybody surpass, in the running game, 20 touchdowns again this year?
In the running game, surpass 20 touchdowns?
We had somebody last year in Raheem Mostert. Will it happen again, or are we too diverse of a group?
I think our running backs are just fabulous right now, the way we're set up. So I think it just gets spread around too much, though, to be honest with you. And they like those passes, those short passes out of the backfield too. So,
Yeah.
nah.
Do you think that the running game combined can get over 2,200 yards of running yards between those four? Can Jalen Wright, Raheem Mostert, and Devon Achane, those three starting, combine for 2,200 yards of rushing attack?
Yeah,
All three. You could see a
yeah.
700 yards apiece, 750 apiece, or like 800, 600. But it would be 800, maybe no 1,000. I don't think either one. Okay, well, one of them of the three, will one of them get 1,000, or none of them are going to get 1,000?
No, I think somebody's going to get around 900 and
So like a
something.
900, 700, 600 type of thing,
Yeah.
500 type of thing. Okay. Yeah, I could see Sealer getting 10 sacks too. You never know. Because Campbell's gonna be, oh boy, Evan, I want 25. I do, but I wasn't going to 2,500. That was pushing it, even on this bandwagon. Will Tyreek? This is a good question. Will Tyreek and Jalen Waddle combine for 3,400 receiving yards combined? Will they get to 3,400?
You want one to have 2,000 yards while the other one has 1,200?
No, that was my. You see, you're a smart cookie. I was going to ask you if they were going to get it, and if so, will we know who get the 2,000 at the same time? Like, do you believe it? Like, I wanted
If
to ask
they
you.
get it, he would have to get the 2,000 for them to get it. How's that?
Okay.
He would have to get the
Yeah.
2,000 to get all those yards.
Will Tua surpass 4,500 yards of passing this year?
Ooh, for me, I always think Tua's around, 4,000 to 4,500 to begin with. So,
Will he surpass 45?
So to ask me 45, that's his peak. That's his high for me usually. So I'm going to say, yeah, with the offense that we have, with the players that we have, especially the tight end group is way better than it was last year. I think that different things are going to happen with this offense. I think you're going to see the schemes you've been waiting for, Junior. I think you're going to see exactly what you've been asking for. I think we might get a dose of it.
Yeah, I want that. Let me ask you, would you be disappointed? Because it was actually one of my stats I was most disappointed about. Will you be disappointed if Tua cannot throw 35 or more touchdowns this year? Because he's only at 29. 29 touchdowns last year for 4,300 yards is not great. Do you believe that he needs to throw to earn his contract this year? Does he need to have 35 plus touchdowns this year in your mind?
No, because as long as you're winning, I could care less how many touchdowns the quarterback gets.
I just think as a growth, if he threw 29 last year, he should get 35 this year.
I think he'll probably get 40. But you asked me,
maybe over 35. Do you think that's feasible? Will it happen?
I think it's feasible. I definitely think it's feasible. Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, if you have other quarterbacks getting 50 and you have this high power offense that he just sits back and guns, he's got to get time in the pocket. Now, you're asking me, is he going to get time in the pocket is the real question you're asking me, Junior. And I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Okay.
That's the scary part is I don't know.
Well, let me ask you, would you take 35 touchdowns and 15 interceptions or 28 touchdowns and 8 interceptions? Like, are you looking for more risk from him with more upside and potentially more interceptions, or are you looking for more conservative where he gets the touchdowns that are truly, but he holds up, but he manages the ball better? What would you want to see from this quarterback?
I would rather him manage the ball better.
Okay.
Absolutely, especially with this team. You got playmakers all over this roster.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can't make something happen, you're screwing up.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I personally, I'd love to see it, but at the same time, I want our rushing attack to be key in a lot of these positions. The running back should be made. We need to utilize them obviously much more than we have, obviously.
I agree
So
with you guys out there, Cap,
yeah,
Scotty.
yeah, absolutely. Overall, I'm gonna do records. Let's see if there's anything else. Over under. Mike McDaniel wins 3 challenges this season.
Under.
Does he lose more than he wins?
No.
So he's not going to
I
challenge
think
a lot.
I think he'll win 2 this year.
How many is he going to lose?
None.
So he's only going to challenge twice all season, including playoffs?
Yep.
Wow. Is he afraid to lose? Or he's only going to do ones that look obvious, obviously?
Yeah, I think he's going to challenge it and win twice. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like you got to challenge everything.
Yeah.
I mean, only if something happens does he have to challenge. How many times does he usually challenge in a year?
Last year I think he was 0 for 10.
0 for 10.
Or something about that. He has never won. I don't think he's ever won a challenge. He overthinks it, and then he just waits and waits and waits, and then he just does it. I think he does it to really slow down the game a little bit. But what are we going to do? Here's a great question.
Exactly, Cap. 35 points a game. It doesn't matter who scores it.
Let me ask you. Can the Dolphins score? Can they break the record? Do you expect them to break the record for the most points scored in a season this year? Can they reach the?
They can reach that. Yes.
Do you think they will? Or you think
not
they're
with that offensive line? No.
Okay. Okay. Guys, we are 57 minutes into the show. I always tell Fish Tank that we're going to do an hour. He needs to go relax, go enjoy his evening. We're even starting earlier. Just to let you know, as much as we can, we're going to be hosting the show even a little bit earlier. But we'll be on every Thursday before 7:30 because when Thursday night football starts, it's week 2. Obviously, we're going to be doing a pregame show. We're going to be doing Thursdays before, so we can even not just talk about the Dolphins, but also even talk about other stuff in the NFL that could be tied to the Dolphins, and also talk a little bit about our predictions for that game that Thursday night. Give you some entertainment. The last key question for Fish Tank, because I'm going to give him a mulligan. This is the most important question Fish Tank will answer all season. Who on the tight end position will have the most touchdowns this year, and how many?
Jonnu Smith with 6.
Guys, I'm actually going to push that and tell Fish Tank he's wrong, and Jonnu Smith is going to have 8 touchdowns. So I'm going to even see tonight. You can hold it over my head, and you can't be wrong. See, I protect you as your son,
as you should, Junior.
Yeah.
For that, you're going to get a sticker one day.
I thought we've won a challenge, but I'm just telling you, Mike McDaniel's really bad at challenges. That's all I'm saying. I always have to keep my Mike McDaniel shtick, right? Like I have to. Honestly, I like the fact that he is being different, the fact that he is having fun, the fact that. But in the end, honestly, guys, if I didn't pick on Mike McDaniel, you guys would say who else are you gonna pick on? It was Jason Sanders. It's Mike McDaniel. It is what it is. 7. Okay, 7. So you're right in the middle, Aladino. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out Fins Talk today, this Saturday. Tomorrow night on I believe we're having Once Upon a Sunday because we're having a live sleeper draft for fantasy between the guys on the Fins Talk Sports Network. You're going to see No Holds Bar. You're going to see all the different wrestling podcasts. But you have Real Talk Rants with Steve Malloy, that's why I'm looking forward to coming on the bandwagon. I didn't do it this week, but I'm going to do it next week. If Steve Malloy goes crushing on my Dolphins, the bandwagon train right here with me and Fish Tank is going to be going right down for him. No negativity on this podcast. We're only having fun. We talk realism, but we're always spinning the positive. Fish Tank, as we head at the hour, how did you enjoy our return from the off season, and anything else to say to the people?
Yo, folks, the bus is rolling this year. Evan and I are going to bring you a lot more fun than we've been bringing. We're trying to get in, like he said, at an earlier time. This way we're ahead of the Thursday night football, and we can discuss that as it's coming up and how it might impact the Miami Dolphins and things of that nature. So, and don't forget, we always love you guys coming out and giving us your support, and obviously letting us know when we're wrong, because we do that a lot.
I'm wrong a lot. I'm wrong a lot.
We appreciate you folks keeping us straight, especially Aladino, Hammer Time, Cap for Life, Christopher Jones, Scotty, all you folks. We really appreciate you. Fins Faithful, etc.
Yeah, we don't appreciate you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are going to still say our normal saying at the end of it. However, go Fins. Guys, don't forget to check out Fins Talk today, where they're going to be talking about a lot more of the predictions this upcoming Saturday about what's going to happen with the Dolphins. We didn't focus on that because I always have to be a little bit different. I don't want to steal Bobby's thunder. I want Fish Tank. I always like to give Fish Tank some surprises. He always gets it. He probably already had the outline for this week's Fins Talk Today show 4 weeks ago, knowing Bobby. Knowing Bobby, right?
I don't get it till like a day or two.
Oh, really? Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Fins up, everybody.
Fins up.